new video on Need for Speed Heat builds. I want to start by telling you guys that I will be uploading more content very soon when it comes to my other vehicles and whatnot. So in order to get started, I need to be able to brush up on a couple of things that you guys will be able to use within the game, but you need to be constructive about how you use it, because every car is different. Every car has a different build, so you need to be able to establish this in a way where this makes it somewhat suitable for the build in which you're trying to achieve with each vehicle. Now, so we're gonna pretty much be going over 3 of my top vehicles, starting with the Fair Lady. And if you want to know the Fair Lady build in terms of engine swaps and what you should be doing with it, I will show you that as well. Keep in mind that what I put on my vehicle may not work out for you, but it might work out for me or work out for other people, but and so forth. So to get started, we're gonna go over to the engine swap, and I don't recommend a lot of this type of engine swap information, just because of the fact that not every engine swap requires you to go all the way to the right or all the way to the left. It just depends on what really is suitable for you. Now, the engine swap all the way to the right for the Fair Lady is the best one. I tested out multiple engines for this particular vehicle, and I think the right one actually is very suitable. As you see, I already choose that. I have ultimate plus parts. I have the crankshaft, ECU plus, cooling, exhaust. I have the turbo supercharger for starters. Should be going for 1 tank actually. The only reason why I didn't choose purple parts for my Fair Lady is because I felt as if you readjust it, you don't have to really choose the highest part within that particular filter category, because not the majority of them are actually going to be as helpful. So I chose race suspension, brakes obviously elite, race tires, elite plus clutch, 8-speed, track differential. Now the reason why I put track differential and race differential is because for a decent amount of acceleration and for me to be able to maneuver around corners the way I want to. Track suspension pretty much keeps it a bit stabilized, a little bit stiff. You could actually also use it for drift vehicles as well too. It becomes very suitable for those particular category. Now, when it comes to these 2 particular parts, I chose repair kit and nitrous because I have a great time actually escaping the cops faster than what I usually think. But if you want more of an aggressive build, you're gonna have to choose either damage reduction or damage increase, depending on the circumstances. The radar disruptor is actually pretty good when it comes to the pursuits and whatnot. Just in case like you really don't want to go through all the hassle of hitting cops or whatnot, even though it increases heat. You use this kit mainly for the night races because it's very suitable, but the reason why I have it set to repair is because sometimes I get a little in trouble with the cops and whatnot, and I need something a little bit extra to be able to continue my movement of escaping the cops. But this is my particular build on the Fair Lady. We're going to be going over to my NSX build. Now here, same thing, you know, engine swap. Obviously you see I have the 4.0 V8 engine inputted into it. That is the best one, the one on the far right. Obviously you're going to be choosing that. Ultimate plus parts, I have the crankshaft, the ECU, cooling, etc. The only difference on this car that I have that I don't have on my Fair Lady is the screw supercharger. Now keep in mind, this particular part is superbly strong. It's strong enough to the point where, you know, it accelerates low end very fast. It gets you up to where you need to be. The problem with this particular part is that it struggles on, you know, long end races. The high end percentage boosts when it comes to this particular vehicle is not very useful, and that's going to be the problem. But if you ever want the extra edge, you could always turn over to turbo charger, a dual turbo charger. It really doesn't matter. I feel that the single one is actually going to be able to suit you more, just because of the fact that it has a decent amount of 0 to 60 and top speed, if that's suitable for you. But max torque is a thing in this game. It's going to help you out in situations, and it's going to better the circumstances for you to become a better driver, just in case, you know. So for chases, obviously I chose the track suspension to keep it in line because it moves around too much. It's very drifty. Race tires, sport race differential because of the indifference. Then I obviously, as the same with repair kit and nitrous extra mix. Nitrous extra mix is a mixture between duration and power, which is extremely well put in for a vehicle such as this and the Fair Lady. Okay, so that's the build for the Acura. Again, you could always switch over the parts to be able to readjust the vehicle to your liking. Depends on how you like it, but trust me, engine swaps, they're very useful in this game. And last but not least, if I feel like it'd be worth it, would be the RSR. Now, as you know, if you played Payback, if you played 2015, the RSR is the god tier vehicle. It's a very good vehicle. 10 out of 10 stats. The only thing that's suffering is the power. Now, as you can see, you know, I have the track suspension, obviously. The reason why I have the track suspension for this particular vehicle is because this vehicle without the track suspension is very wiggly, and plus it increases the max torque and the top speed to a good amount. Okay, I've tested on multiple occasions to where I would want it to be able to move a bit quicker in terms of that ordeal with the screw supercharger, but it doesn't work as good as it should with the single turbocharger, as you can see. But track suspension on this particular vehicle, make sure you actually put that on there. Race tires, 7-speed for more, you know, more gears, extra length and stuff like that. Obviously the same auxiliary parts, but you know how you achieve these ultimate plus parts. You need to be level 50. That's one, and two, you need to be able to do Heat 5 races. Sometimes Heat 3 gives you the ultimate regular parts. Maybe you might get lucky and give it ultimate plus parts. But either way, it will be able to be useful in that particular atmosphere. So what we're going to do is, now that we went through these vehicles, I'm going to go one by one in trying to show you the gameplay of these particular vehicles. So we're going to go into daytime, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by these cars and performances and why it matters. Okay, you have to keep in mind that in this game it's superbly different from 2015 and Payback. The way you customize the vehicles is to your own liking. That's the super benefit in this particular game. You know, not all the time our builds are going to be great for you. Oh, let me do something so that way you guys can be able to hear my voice within this video. Just keep that down a little bit and then put this down, and then just go to this race right here and then shuffle between the vehicles. But yeah, so the builds definitely do matter. You know, they play a big difference. They play a big role within the game, and it's very simplistic. You just need to really tell yourself what build do you want to be able to achieve, because not a lot of builds are very useful. You got some builds that are great in top speed, they suck in handling, and no matter what you do, you can't really consolidate the turbo, top speed, etc. So you have to be very mindful of those things. And then another thing too is that some builds are definitely meant for you to be able to use, maybe not in race, maybe in rally, or maybe off-road. Depends to your liking. But those are definitely different in that particular atmosphere. And I think that what really matters is how you be able to contain those vehicles and whatnot. So you have to make it your business to be able to do those things and make sure that those builds are appropriate, oriented to your liking. Sorry. So here, I'm going to pretty much show you how to pretty much use the RSR, or pretty much not really how to use. I'm pretty sure the majority of you that watch this video know how to fucking drive. So I'm gonna show you the potential that this car has with the engine swap and the parts. So as you can see, it has a decent takeoff time. The NPC, of course, I had to slow down a little bit because usually that corner, you see blocks, they're hitting the how can I put this? Sorry. Hitting the walls in this game are crucial. You know, terrain, trees, whatever the case may be. It's crucial to your car. Meaning that it's not like it was in the last game. The last game, as you can see, that's what I meant by that. But as you can see in this game, it really does matter because it slows you down completely. I'm not sure if you guys were aware of that, but that's definitely what I like about this particular game, because it actually is somewhat realistic. Kind of not realistic at that point, but like it's realistic to the point where, you know, suitable for, you know, slowing down vehicles, which I actually like, because I feel that that is what we really need, because in a lot of these racing games nowadays, they have wall grinding and whatnot, and it's definitely not, you know, fun to see people cheating in that way, because I consider that to be cheating. But as you can see, the RSR, the build that I have on my RSR is very suitable for tracks such as this one. I mean, again, just overall for racing night and day, this car handles the this car handles the light work. You know, this is what this particular build does. Obviously, a lot of you that are better drivers than me are going to be able to use this build in a sense where, you know, in a better extent, you know, and I feel that that's what's really important, you know, because you would want to be able to customize the vehicle to your liking, and that's literally what matters in this game, because you don't have to always use a build the way another person does it. Maybe by tweaking it yourself, you could be able to do better. You can achieve better that way. Because the most important thing that you guys need to completely understand about, you know, engine swapping is that all engines have different variations on how you would engine swap and stuff like that. And some engines are good for most vehicles, and some engines are not good for them. So, you know, so you would have to kind of test it amongst yourself. I personally recommend Screw Super Driver, and I just accidentally fucked myself with this nitrous. I wasn't supposed to do that. That was definitely my bad. but just to give you a little run with the RSR, I feel like the RSR is definitely a great vehicle in this game. Although I will be doing some videos in the future of cars that might be suitable or probably better than the RSR. I can't really give you my personal opinion on what's the fastest car in this game, because I don't think that there is a car in this game that is the fastest, I would say, because every car in this game is unique, and depending on what build you do for other vehicles, it just is a complete retrospect. So now we're gonna go over to the Fair Lady, and I'm not gonna do this race because we already did it, so I will be going over to this one. Now, the thing that you have to keep in mind about the Fair Lady is that the Fair Lady's handling is great, but the only reason why I adjusted it and changed it to drag is because of a faster acceleration. The issue with the Fair Lady, I mean, it really doesn't matter what you do to it. It seems like most Nissan vehicles in this game have an issue with acceleration. If you happen to find an ordeal of changing it, then please do so, but I'm pretty sure it's the Fair Lady. It's probably only the Fair Lady, if I may be correct or not, that has this particular issue, where the takeoff time is really shitty. But to an extent, when it takes off past 60, it does an extremely amazing job at accelerating. You know, cornering, no problem. But this particular vehicle has a struggle of doing that, and I think that it matters because you want a takeoff time like the Evo 9. I mean, the Evo 9's acceleration takeoff time is incredible. I think that it's very good. But again, it kind of just depends on your forte. I mean, not everybody's going to be interested in the Evo 9 like that. I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't know why you wouldn't be, because the Evo 9 is such a great vehicle in this game. It's probably one of the best vehicles. I can't really give you a tier list of vehicles that you should be using, again, because this is what I really like about this game, is because I feel that no matter what build you conduct amongst yourself, you can make every vehicle great. I mean, I see people slaughtering in Civics. So now we're at this particular race, and we're going to be trying out the Fair Lady. This is one of my favorite cars in the game. I've always been a big fan of this Fair Lady build, just the Fair Lady in general, but see what happens. So as you can see, the acceleration is but anything after that, it does a extremely well job. Obviously the NPC made me choose the third and slam into them. I had to readjust myself. Now in this game, you have to also realize too that cornering, accelerating, deaccelerating, whatever you want to input on that, it really matters in this game. You have to kind of tell yourself which one matters. But again, you know, as you can see, the Fair Lady is doing a spectacular job at handling these corners, you know, and that's what you want, man. You don't want a stiff egg as a vehicle. You want to be able to use the vehicles to perfect advantages, and this is the reason why I like the Fair Lady, because it's such a great vehicle in a sense where it handles the corners very well, and it moves at remarkable speeds. Like I said, keep in mind, there are a lot of better drivers than me. I feel that there really is, but the reason why I want to show you these guys build videos of mine is because maybe not the experienced driver and somebody that actually has build understanding towards, you know, games such as this one in this nature, but for people that like literally are new to the game and really need this type of build advice, you know, again, sometimes some builds are really not useful for your car. Some engines are better than others, but it really just matters on the driver. Sorry, correction. It matters on the driver, you know. The vehicle could be great, it could perform great in a sense, but you have to kind of want to, you know, perfect your car to your own liking, you know, not to anybody else's liking. As you can see, the Fair Lady obviously doing very good. It performed well. I mean, I don't think I had any problems with it. And now we're gonna move over to the NSX finally. So, just gonna move over. Now, this vehicle is highly recommended for you guys. You'll see why. But this vehicle, there are a bit of things that this vehicle has that the newer Acura NSX doesn't, and it's amazing. It's utterly amazing. Although I don't think that this car was specially designed for drift, I wouldn't recommend you making it a drift vehicle because it's not a very good drift vehicle. I tried it or tested it out myself. As you can see, it handles very well around the corners, has a very good acceleration takeoff around the corners or exiting them. This car is literally great. It's insane how great this car is. Just to give you guys a FYI, weight in a certain way really does matter in this game. I feel that weight it plays a very big role in this game, and you kind of have to keep that, you know, somewhat relevant to what build you're trying to achieve, because the more weight that's put on a car, the less chances you're actually going to expect it to do good on tracks. I mean, it's going to have more grip, but you always want a car that's lightweight, such as cars like the Fair Lady, RSR, Miata, Acura NSX. I mean, I don't see that the Acura NSX is a heavily weighted vehicle. It seems very lightweight to me. But lightweight cars in this game, they do some justice. And I'll be doing some future builds in the future to be able to examine or cross-examine the vehicles together with, so you can see for yourself. But lightweight vehicles in this game, they do some justice. As you can see, car does very, very good handling wise. I almost fucked up in that corner. Could have flipped. The physics in this game really need to be worked upon, because there are some common issues that I've been experiencing as of lately. Just very, very smooth. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this. Okay, never mind. As you can see, the screw supercharger is has a bit of a defect with high-end speeds. But now, the pros and cons to these three vehicles that you guys should be completely aware of. The pros and cons to these vehicles: pro, all three of them all have outstanding acceleration, top speed, regardless of the output and everything. They do very well in track races and so forth, right? The con is that they're not good for off-road. Depending on the pursuits, they can kind of differ. I mean, you can escape the cops really fast, but in terms of damage, these cars, they're trouble. I mean, maybe it's probably just me, but pursuits, anything off-road oriented, they're not drift oriented. The only time that they ever drift, and I don't even consider it drifting, is when you go in zone, out zone, acceleration, deceleration type of ordeal. But these cars, those are my recommended build vehicles. And I hope you really enjoyed this video, guys. If you like the video and you feel that this video was very detailed in a sense, maybe not, like, comment, subscribe. I will be doing more videos in the future for you guys. And again, this is NickTheSaiyajin, and peace.